I know you're worried about Glenn, but you gotta realize we've been further out than this. We've been in worse situations. Daryl, Abraham, Sasha, and Glenn will be back.
Woo! Yeah, boy! Man, ain't no walkers gonna take out Glenn. Ain't no walkers can handle Glenn. Been trying to say that, people. Let's talk. You know, in honor of Glenn's return, I've decided just now, right this second, that we're going to do a separate giveaway on this video only. If this video gets to, let's say, 20 likes. If this video gets to 20 likes, you're a subscriber and you comment on this video, I will go out and get a Glenn Funko Pop. It's like the Rick Grimes, except it'll be Glenn. It'll be separate. It'll be the only thing you get, and it'll be for this video only. That's how I'm feeling right now. This is in honor of Glenn, people. Let's spread the word. Share the video. We're trying to grow here. Get the word out there, okay? Glenn Funko Pop for you, Glenn. Hey, what's good, comic fans? This is Campfire Comics, and we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 7. And Glenn is back. My boy slid up under the trash can. The pizza boy survives. I'm Campfire Rich.
I'm Campfire Nate. There's only one thing I can say to you, and that is, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. How many times have I mentioned it? I've been throwing out stuff for the last 3-4 weeks. He's alive. He's alive. And everyone's like, no, he's not alive. Hey, all I can say is vindication. Richie, what did you think right off the bat? I loved how they hit us right off the bat and showed it to us. Instead of dragging it out, they hit us right off the bat.
I thought it was going to be like exactly that. Like they was just going to cut to Alexandria, do stuff, and then like, you know, then show it, you know. At least they didn't do like they did with Rick and just show a signal coming up and then, you know, hey, wait, Glenn's alive. Right off the bat, right after, I mean, that's how they opened it and that's how they should have opened it. They've been, you know, teasing us for several weeks now, and then you just show the full frame of just like a lot of people were saying, the dude getting his guts ripped open and Glenn's like, under the trash can. And he's fighting them off, stabbing them. They didn't have, you know, the sound of them. It was just kind of like, what was the music playing? So it was kind of quiet and, man, it was intense.
I mean, I knew like before I watched this how this was going to go down because I'd read a little spoiler. So I knew how it was going down. I'm thinking, man, this is going to be cheesy, but they did a good job of making it feel like it could have possibly happened. I mean, the way he laid on top of him and then he slid himself. He literally, it's not like he stood up and then got down. I mean, he slid underneath there, and I mean, there wasn't a lot of room. I mean, dude had to like go into like roach mode and like flatten his body out and like shiver up inside there. And that was intense. I mean, I'm claustrophobic and I was like, oh man, I was getting a little sweaty just thinking about trying to dig up underneath there. But yeah, dude, that was intense. And then when he got up underneath there, he just hid. And I mean, I don't know how long he was underneath there. I mean, probably for a while, until they finally walked away. And I mean, that would have been bad. Like all them dead bodies underneath there, I could just imagine how just stinky it was, you know?
Yeah, he's sitting there looking at, you know, looking at that dude who's dead. You know, he stays there all night, and I'm like, Glenn is so, like the whole time he's crying out, I was just like, you know, beaming with pride. I was like, yeah, boy, Glenn making it things happen. He ain't going down. We ain't going down without a fight. But that's cool. He gets out, and then we finally see Enid. I think they say her name. She's throwing some water down, and they had that whole deal back and forth between them, and he's like, look, I'm not leaving you. Which now we know kind of what holds Glenn up, because you're like, hey, he was only down there for a night or whatever. So we know he slowed down, messing with her and trying to get her up the farm. We understand. She's lost. Everybody's lost stuff, but she's a kid, and what she saw, how her parents died and get jacked up. I mean, the girl was eating turtles for crying out loud. So I think Glenn wants to adopt her. Do you feel like he wants to adopt her? I mean, like, he's kind of taking that role because he asked, like, who were you staying with? You know what I'm saying? Like, who watches out for you? Who takes care of you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's kind of like he feels a little, obligation, like to kind of be a father figure and to kind of take care of her. And like you said, she's scared of losing other people, and she's having a hard time. She can't. Her thing is it's easier just to stay away instead of lose someone else. And I liked what he said. He's like, we basically honor the dead by living, and I think that's a really important concept to think about during The Walking Dead, because I mean they're staying alive. I mean, of all the people they've lost, all the friends and family, you could just be completely broken. But the fact is that you stay alive because you're trying to honor the people that have died to get you to that point. And I think that got through to her. And so he decided, well, we're going to make it back and you're going to come with me. And then they found some balloons on the way. It was great. It was like, going to the circus. It was nice that they had, balloons and stuff right there, which was cool. And it turned out to be a big.
Mother freaking been an apocalypse forever, boy. That helium just been going. Cause those were. What do you think those balloons were for? They had to have been for like the grand opening of Alexandria, right?
Well, no. Those balloons were there originally in the very first episode for their whole like moving the zombies out. That was. The balloons are there to symbol areas that they were moving to. Yeah, so it wasn't.
You're right, because for a second I was like, where are these motherfucking balloons coming from? Like I thought it was like the grand opening to Alexandria. We keep seeing these signs. I was like, that helium is boss.
Yeah, no, there's no way that helium's going to be in a balloon for like 3-4 years. Yeah. No, but I understand that. Yeah, that would be crazy.
All right, yeah, you're right. Well. You cut back to Alexandria, right? And kind of the underlining theme throughout this was they're bonding. Rick's group is bonding with the other group. And you know what? I'll segue in by talking about what, Nate, what you just said about we live for the dead. And then you have, I can't call her name, but she's teaching the people how to use a machete, right? Like they're going through, zombie hacking class. Mm-hmm. And she's chewing what's Mullet Man? What's his name?
Eugene.
Yeah. Eugene. Like she's kind of chewing him out and she says, you shouldn't be afraid of dying. If you die and it's over, it's it. You should be afraid of living because you lived and they didn't. Mm-hmm. And you feel guilty, and the fact that you need to learn to do everything you can to save them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to live with regret saying I could have done more. Because basically you didn't train or you're too scared to act.
Yeah, no, I mean... I
think that's the second powerful point they've made in this episode. The first one was what you just said about Glenn. And the second one was made by this chick teaching them. And there's going to be a third one that we're going to talk about that I actually, wrote down when I heard it.
Yeah, well, Rosita's like trying to teach these guys how to use weapons. And I mean, you can see it in their eyes. They don't know. And that's been another thing that's been going on, is that these guys are lost. They're completely lost. They don't know how to handle it. They're dying left and right because they can't handle this whole situation. And Rick is closed off. And that's a lot of this episode is trying to get through to him that, in his mind, all he's worried about is he still has them segregated. It's his people and them. Yep. His people and them. And they're trying to get through to him. It's like, it's us. Rick, we're all together now. And once you're a part of Rick's group, Rick's going to do everything he can for you. Once you are in his circle, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like you're set because Rick's got your back. And up to this point, the Alexandrians, he just doesn't give a crap.
He's never had to take a group of this size and untrained on. Normally it's like one. You know what? We can protect one sheep that's weak. We can teach this one sheep how to get better. Mm-hmm. Rick's not used to taking on like a full town of noobs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But again, it comes back to the bonding. He's teaching Ron how to shoot, which we'll come back to that later. Spencer, they always doing something stupid. That's why Rick getting upset, because not only is he trying to protect his people, they're getting his people killed, right? They're so dumb that they are getting his people. Almost got Glenn killed. But Spencer throws a grappling hook and decides he's going to shimmy out and just climb over. Well, almost dies. He gets on the Tara about almost dying herself because that's who he's concerned about. Yeah. And again, you see it. These people are helping Rick build the wall. Again, teaching Ron how to shoot. Teaching the people how to use a knife. And they're all kind of converging together under the realization. I think Michelle's the one that's like, really? Is that why? You know, we're one. We're together. And Rick's finally breaking down and starting to see that, and that's good. You got, you know, Deanna. She's stepping up. She brings her, you know, crop plans and city plans to him. And it was a very brief moment, but you're glad to see her bounce back, you know, because we need her. We need that character to help step up and help steady Rick, you know, because Rick does need that. Rick's all about his protection and hardcore, but she also has a vision of a normal life, and you need that balance.
Right. You know, she wrote, you know, it was funny because when she brought those plans, he's like, we got a lot more things to worry about. And she's like, well, we'll get past this, and when we do, this is what we're going to have. You know what I'm saying? She's very optimistic. She went from being complete zombie mode to being like, I got to move past this. So, you know, she's, you know, and you're right. Rick needs that. He needs that, that leadership in a whole different way. You know, that different type of leadership that Rick doesn't offer. Rick offers leadership of, do what I say, we're going to do this. And she kind of offers a, hey, listen, we need to plan ahead. We need to protect our people. We need to build a community. So they're working on that. And I mean, I think Rick is finally starting to kind of care about these people a little bit more.
Right.
You know, he had the guy come and help him while they're trying to reinforce the wall. And he basically told him, he's like, man, he's like, when you first got here, we were scared of you. He's like, but listen, don't give up on us. You know, and I thought that was a big thing because he's basically saying, listen, you know, we realize that and like I think it was him that said that. He said, you know, everything's was real slow. And then all of a sudden it got real fast and we're just trying to catch up. Because they were basically sheltered from the outside. And he's just like, man, don't give up on us. And I think Rick is finally starting to get into his head that, you know, maybe I need to start listening and be with these guys.
He's worried. You know, he's worried because these people are hitting themselves. I tell you who he's not worried about. Just like little bobblehead Rick Grimes said at the beginning of this video, you know, they coming back. Mm-hmm. You know, Sasha, Abraham, Glenn, his people are coming back. Like he's got full faith. Yo, my people, the OG crew got it on lockdown, and they all gonna come back to us. And, you know, he's right. In between all that goes on, Detective Carol, Soldier Carol, my girl Carol, I liking her. I don't know why every time I see her I get excited now. She buck, and she's sniffing out Morgan out there trying to get the doctor and use their resources to save this dude. And they've already had a talk with Morgan about, Morgan, did you let some guys go? Because I got attacked. They shut off the RV, and basically I could have saved the town from all these zombies with the RV if you would have had the cojones to kill 5 terrible, bad, broken people. And he didn't. He's like, I just didn't see no point in killing them. I was like, well, I hope you see the point now. Mm-hmm. And obviously he didn't, because he's still housing one of them, trying to give him antibiotics. Carol finds out and was like, you know, what's up, bro? Well, you got to do this. Now here comes the third line. She's talking to the little boy. She goes in the house, and the little boy stuck upstairs, and he's worried, like, did my dad become a monster? You know, when you die, do you become a monster? You know, when you kill, do you get killed? Something like that. And Carol says, the only way to keep from becoming a monster, what she says, to kill keeps you from becoming a monster. Mm-hmm. The only thing that keeps you from becoming a monster is killing, which is polar opposite from Morgan. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, 2 opposite ends of the spectrum right there. Because Morgan's like, to keep us from becoming monsters in another sense, right?
Right.
Is not to kill. And then Carol, so you're living for the dead. You should regret not dying or whatever, because you didn't do everything you could to save people who died. And part of doing everything you can to keep the people you love alive is killing. Mm-hmm. To not become a monster. I think those were the 3 very powerful points that they sprinkled out throughout this episode.
And I think in Carol's case, like, you look at 2 different perspectives. You have Carol's case, and it's like, you kill these monsters to keep you alive, to save you from becoming a monster. In Morgan's mind, when you kill people, it turns you into a monster. Not in the actual Walking Dead, you know, zombie sense, but as a person. So it's 2 different perspectives, and both of them are very accurate depending on the person. You know, if you're already borderline on the way of going a little crazy, killing people probably going to push you over the edge. You know, so I think both of them are true, but it all boils down to who the person was beforehand. Can they handle what they, you know, can you handle having to do what you have to do to keep people you care about alive? Or is going that route going to push you over the edge? So I think that's an important thing to see, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of those things play out very significantly in the mid-season finale, which I'm just going to tell you now as a comic book reader, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Well, we wrap this up. You know, right there at the end, they realize Glenn's back. He drops his balloons. Ron's about to shoot Carl. You know, he finally gets his gun. He breaks in, steals a gun, little sneaky little rat dude. Probably a good thing he didn't pull a gun on Carl or the kid was about to die, because I think Carl would have busted him up. But anyway, you had that, and it all stopped because the church, which we've been seeing this whole time, you know, crackle and slowly piece apart, finally falls in slow motion and brings down the wall.
And it was, I mean, you knew that was going to happen. It was just a matter of time. But when it did, and it crashed and all the dust settled and you started seeing the walkers coming in, man, it was just like, dude, these people, it's go time. You know, you got to, at that point, it's not like you can fight them off. There's just too many. Now what are they going to do? We're about to find out. We're about to find out big.
Yep. This is going to be awesome. Look, guys, that's all we got. Like, comment, and you already know, subscribe. Well, a lot of people watching these videos, and I know it's the same people, so go ahead and click the subscribe button, man. Make sure you don't miss any of these episodes. Again, if you want the little bobblehead Rick Grimes, along with some other cool stuff, then enter the giveaway. All you gotta do is be a subscriber and comment on this video or another video that we have dropped within the month of November, and you're entered to a drawing, and then we will call that person out and get with you and send you all the cool stuff we got going on, man. Look, I can't wait. What you think, man? We was all team Glenn's alive. Were you one of the doubters? Were you? If not, what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? I think we got a little inside scoop, so make sure you stay tuned for the next one. We got some big things coming on by the end of this season. So until next time, people, we out.
See ya.
Hey, if you're still sticking around, then thank you for watching. That means you like us and we like you. So do us a little favor here and click that subscribe button over there so you don't miss any of our videos, because we dropping videos pretty much daily, okay? And then click this video up above my head and watch that if you haven't already, because it's awesome too. All right? Yo, man, Campfire Rich is out. Peace.